America, the land of opportunity, is drowning in a sea of red ink. Our national debt has ballooned to a staggering $36 trillion. That's trillion with a T. It's a number so large it's hard to even fathom. This financial recklessness is not just a statistic, it's a threat to our future. It's time for some serious belt-tightening in Washington, D.C. But instead of addressing this crisis, our elected officials seem content to throw money at every problem, both real and imagined. And the biggest culprit, you guessed it, foreign aid. Year after year, billions of taxpayer dollars are shipped off to foreign governments, often with little accountability or oversight. This isn't about being heartless, it's about common sense. We can't keep borrowing money we don't have to fund projects that often do more harm than good. It's time to shine a light on this wasteful spending. It's time for some accountability. It's time to put America first. Every year, Senator Rand Paul, a fiscal conservative with a sharp wit, releases his Festivus report. Think of it as a holiday gift for taxpayers, exposing the most egregious examples of government waste. And let me tell you, this year's report is a doozy. From funding drag queen shows in Ecuador to promoting girl-centric climate action in Brazil, the report reads like a bad joke. But the punchline is on us, the American taxpayers footing the bill for these absurdities. Senator Paul doesn't just highlight the waste, he puts it in stark terms. He reminds us that every dollar spent on these frivolous projects is a dollar that could be used to address real problems here at home. Fixing our crumbling infrastructure, providing for our veterans, or securing our border. The Festivus report is a wake-up call. It's time to stop the spending madness and demand better from our elected officials. Ukraine has been in the news a lot lately, and rightfully so. The Ukrainian people are facing unimaginable hardship. But while American generosity is admirable, our government's spending in Ukraine has gone way too far. We've sent billions to prop up the Ukrainian government, but where is all that money going? According to Senator Paul's report, some of it is going to social media influencers to the tune of $4.8 million. That's right, your tax dollars are being used to make Ukrainian TikTok stars even more popular. And it gets worse. How about $2.1 million to enhance Paraguay's security? Paraguay? What does that have to do with Ukraine? And let's not forget the funding for Ukrainian fashion designers to attend a swanky Paris fashion show, because nothing says we stand with Ukraine like haute couture. These examples are not just wasteful, they're insulting. Our government is sending billions to a country while our own citizens are struggling to afford gas and groceries. It's time to prioritize our own people. Section 4, Latin America, a playground for woke spending. Latin America has become a favorite destination for our government's woke spending sprees. In Guatemala, $2 million was spent on transgender surgeries and hormone therapy. Now, I believe in individual liberty, but should American taxpayers be forced to fund these procedures in a foreign country? Then there's Brazil, where $3 million was spent on girl-centric climate action. What does that even mean? It sounds like something out of a dystopian novel. And in Colombia, $25,000 was spent on an opera that seemingly nobody attended. Talk about throwing money away. These examples highlight a disturbing trend. Our government is more concerned with promoting radical ideologies abroad than with addressing the real needs of the American people. It's time to stop playing global social engineer and start focusing on our own backyard. Section 5, the Middle East and beyond misplaced priorities. The Middle East has long been a black hole for American taxpayer dollars. In Iraq, where we spent trillions on a war based on false pretenses, $20 million was spent to produce a new version of Sesame Street, because nothing says mission accomplished like furry puppets. Then there's Egypt, a popular tourist destination, where we spent $6 million to boost sustainable tourism. Why are we subsidizing tourism in a country that's already a tourist hotspot? And let's not forget Afghanistan, where we spent trillions over 2 decades, only to see the Taliban take over. Despite this colossal failure, we're still sending money. Senator Paul's report highlights $87.9 million to help Afghan farmers, with the implication that some of this money is going towards poppy production for heroin. These examples show a complete disconnect from reality. Our government continues to throw money at problems it doesn't understand and can't solve. It's time for a foreign policy based on realism, not wishful thinking. Section 6. Charity begins at home. A matter of common sense. There's a simple principle at play here that seems to have been forgotten. Charity begins at home. It's like the old saying goes, you can't help your neighbor if your own house is on fire. Imagine a man who is deeply in debt, struggling to feed his family and keep a roof over their heads. Now imagine this same man giving money to every homeless person he passes on the street. It's admirable, perhaps, but it's also utterly irresponsible. That's what our government is doing on a massive scale. We're borrowing money we don't have to fund projects we can't afford, all while neglecting the needs of our own citizens. It's time to stop this madness and start prioritizing our own people. We need to invest in our own infrastructure, our own education system, our own healthcare system. We need to take care of our veterans who have sacrificed so much for our country. We need to secure our own border. Once we've taken care of our own, then we can start thinking about helping others. Section 7, conclusion, a call to action, reclaim our tax dollars. The reckless spending exposed in Senator Paul's Festivus report is a national disgrace. It's a betrayal of the American taxpayer, but it doesn't have to be this way. We, the people, have the power to demand better. Contact your elected officials and tell them enough is enough. Tell them to stop the reckless spending. Tell them to prioritize the needs of the American people. Tell them to put America first. Share this information with your friends and family. Spread the word on social media. Let's make sure everyone knows about this outrage. Together we can reclaim our tax dollars and hold our government accountable. The time for action is now. The future of our country depends on it.